Hi students, it's your favorite teacher, Miss H. Badrian is recording me. Say hi, Badrian.
What's up, guys?
Today we'll be learning about thesis statements and introductions. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to define what a thesis statement is, say why it's important, and know what it takes to write a strong introduction. Like I said a few minutes ago, you all have a big paper due soon, and so we're going to learn how to write a really strong introduction and thesis statement for that paper. All of you should be familiar with what a thesis statement is, but in case you've forgotten, a thesis statement is the main argument in your paper. So thesis statement, again, that's the main argument in your paper. We talked a lot about our purpose. What's our purpose for coming to class each day? What's the author's purpose when they write a book? Your thesis statement is your purpose for writing your paper. We all have a reason why we're writing. So your thesis statement, it's your main argument. It's the reason you're writing your paper. Now, a thesis statement is really important, again, because it's the main argument for your paper. It's the reason you're writing the paper that you're writing. So a thesis statement is important because it lays out to the reader what your paper will be about, what you'll be arguing, and what your whole paper will be about. So again, a thesis statement is one of the most important parts in your paper because the reader, from that thesis statement, the reader should be able to tell what your paper will be arguing. So we've done a lot with ACIT and writing in our ACIT format where we start with our assertion, our main argument, the reason why we're writing. The way we're going to write these introductions with our thesis statement is different. Our assertion, we know that's the A in ACIT, that always comes at the beginning of your introduction. A thesis statement is different because instead of coming at the beginning of your introduction, it's going to come at the end. So a big difference between an ACIT paragraph and your assertion and a thesis statement is your assertion comes at the beginning of your paper, but your thesis statement will come at the end of your introduction. Okay, so that's really important to know. So again, your thesis statement differs from an assertion because your assertion comes at the beginning of your introduction, but your thesis statement is going to come at the end of your introduction. So we're not doing ACIT format for this introduction. So your thesis statement, we just found out, comes at the end of your introduction. So that means there's 4 or 5 sentences before your thesis statement. And those 4 or 5 sentences, they need to do something very specific. They, one, need to hook your reader in. They need to grab your reader's attention. This can be done with a quote, a statistic, a definition, and we'll talk more about this. So your introduction, it needs to hook your reader's attention, grab your reader's attention. And then your thesis statement, it needs to clearly lay out your argument, what you'll be arguing, and give 3 reasons for your argument. So your introduction needs to hook your reader's attention, grab their attention, and your introduction needs to lay out your main argument and give 3 reasons for your argument. And again, we'll go into a little more detail about this in a few minutes. So now I'd like you to take about 2 minutes, rewatch any parts of the video so far that you need to, and then answer question 7. What questions do you still have about a thesis statement, and do you think it will be easy to write? And yes, you need to make a question. Even if you think you don't have one, make one up. We'll just take about a minute or 2 to do that. Okay, you all should have a question down at this point. I will be checking on this. Now flip over to the next page, the one with the upside down triangle. Okay everyone, so you should have turned to the next page of your worksheet where there's that upside down triangle. And this is the triangle format. This is how we're going to be writing our introductions. So you can see it's an upside down triangle, right? It starts out big at the top and then gets smaller and smaller as you go down. That's how we're going to write our introductions. In the top part, that biggest part of the triangle, that's going to be the first sentence or two in your introduction. And you're just going to give really vague, general information about whatever you're writing about. So this could be a quote, this could be a statistic about what you're writing about, or this could be a definition about whatever the topic is that you're writing about. Remember, this information you want to hook your reader in. So using a quote or using a statistic is a great way to do this. Remember, at this point in your introduction, the very beginning, you're not mentioning what your argument is. You shouldn't be mentioning what you're specifically writing about. You just want to give really vague, general information about the writing prompt. So, for example, if you're writing a prompt arguing that who the best rapper is, and I was arguing that it's Kendrick Lamar, I could say something like, I could give the definition of what rap music is, or I could give a quote about rap music or something. I wouldn't say anything specific about Kendrick Lamar yet, and I wouldn't say anything specific about what I'll be arguing. Then, in that second row, where things get a little more skinny, a little narrower, you want to give more specific information about your topic. So this could be a fact about your topic, or this could be some background information about the topic you're writing about. So in continuing to use the same example, if I was writing about how Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper, at this point, I could start giving some statistics or some facts about Kendrick Lamar. I could talk about how he's sold out almost all of his concerts, or how he's had all these hits on the radio, or how he has the deepest rhymes. So that would be what goes in that second part of our triangle. That third and final part, where it gets really, really narrow, where it gets super skinny, that's where we give our thesis statement. That's where we give our really specific argument, and we back up our argument with 3 reasons why, okay? So again, the thesis statement, that comes at the end of our introduction, that last part in our triangle, and that's when we're very specific, we clearly state our argument, and we give 3 reasons to back up our argument. So again, if I was writing the essay about Kendrick Lamar being the best rapper, this is where I would say, Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper currently making music because he sold out all his concerts, has hits on the radio, and has the best rhymes, has the best lyrics, okay? So we give our thesis statement at the end. Now, this might be a little difficult, so you're going to want to just start writing and work with it from there. Remember, the first part, that top part in our introduction, that's just vague, general information about the subject, nothing specific. That second part is where we get more specific now. We'll mention our topic. We'll give some specific facts about our topic. And that third part, that third and final part in our introduction, that's our thesis statement. That's where we clearly state our argument, and we back up our argument with 3 reasons why. Okay, so you all should now know what a thesis statement is, why it's important, and how to write a strong introduction. Remember, we'll be using the triangle format. We'll start off with really big, vague information, and then we'll get very, very skinny and narrow and give our thesis statement. It's the end of our introduction. And I give you a bunch of examples of how to do this on the next few pages. So, to finish, review all your answers, and then we're going to wait for the rest of the class to finish, and then we'll move into our reading circles, and together as a group, yes, as a group, you'll be graded on your participation. You'll be working together to finish the rest of your worksheets, and then at the end of the class, you might have time to start the introduction and thesis statement for the paper we'll be writing for The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. So, if you have any questions, raise your hand. And remember, this video isn't meant to be one and done. You can come back to this video whenever you need more information about thesis statements, if you need to refresh something, or if you don't quite understand it. Okay, thanks for watching. Well, I mean, you didn't really have any choice. And I'll see you in class.